Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the weather conditions today. Strong winds, rainfalls, heavy rainfalls as well. All of my orchids are now inside. Only my little, not so little, but quite large amaryllis collection is still out. It's a pity that the leaves will soon wither away, turn yellow, and I will cut them off and bring the whole lot down into my basement for a while. And I also do have some more stuff. Hey, let's see how. It's not. Yeah, it's kind of damp still, a little bit moist. Maybe I should give them a little bit of water. So I think most part of them survived my treatment. This is the worst one. It's been leafless for a while, quite a bit actually, but we shall see what happens come Christmas. We had kind of mild beginning of this autumn, so it's everything's out of phase, out of control, so to speak. It's not doing what they should do. These guys should have been sloping and yellowish, kind of mushy by now, but no. It's still kind of mild outside, so yes. These guys I brought inside yesterday, and this is how far they reached. Just inside, I mean, next to my balcony door. Cymbidium, wild pink, and a couple of cristardus. Well, we had a couple of discussions in the comment section for my previous video, the unboxing one from Orchids and More. So this is going to be the repot or not repot session, which always seems to be followed up afterwards, of course, naturally. Yeah, you can see Dendrobium fimbriatum. She's in growing stage. Is it really wise to give her a slight winter rest? No, she's already been outside throughout the whole summer, which has been quite cool, a lot under normal temperatures. So for her, this fimbriatum, I believe this is spring. A lot more light, a bit more humidity, a bit more warmth. So instead of resting, she wants to grow. So, yeah. Here we have the two Dendrobium reginas. The stronger one, the most number of leaves still there, hanging in there, is the Japan Select variety, the deeper blue color to its flowers. Doesn't want to go into dormancy. So I received a comment from Michael, and he told me they didn't need a resting period, but I believe they should be kept a little bit drier, not soaking wet. As you can see, I mean during winter, as you can see here, this growth hasn't grown into its maximum capacity, length. The latest leaf is not even as large as the one surrounding it. But this cane is kind of sort of leafless. So that one, well, what do we see here? You can see, what is it? It's a root tip, so it's still growing. So maybe, as I said in my previous video, I'm not going to give them a winter rest. Now, I'll wait a bit and kind of sort of controlling them, see what they're doing. This one, Jenkinsii, is also, look, can you see? Green root tips. It's still growing, and this plant has got 1 year to flowering size, so it's still a very, very young plant, and the size tells me that it might have even more time until it reaches maturity. Yeah, I wouldn't want to force it into dormancy. I'm saying dormancy, but I don't really mean dormancy. But I've been growing Cattleytonia type orchids a little bit too much. So I just say dormancy. I don't really mean dormancy. I mean drier winter rest. Doesn't mean dry, bone dry, but drier. But she's still growing, and dry, which I would say dry winter rest, I don't think that would encourage her to create buds faster, she still needs 1 or 2 years until she reaches maturity, so that would be pointless, wouldn't it? So, yeah, I won't touch her. There's not added on any kind of moss to her, so there's really nothing that can rot or degrade underneath it. So she can stay there for as long as she likes. No. And the Jenkinsii, she's actually in bud. I mean, that's terrific, isn't it? We're developing nicely in here. And in all this high humidity, the growing cabinet provides it. So that I had this one before, and the vendor told me that she didn't need a winter rest. I should water it throughout the winter period as well. But yeah, there's a little bit, there's a difference between watering it severely and repotting it at the very wrong time period into a much more water retentive medium. That's what I did. So I charaded, it didn't work. So this time I'm going to be much more careful. And well, it's not exactly in a very good growing stage. Other than that, she's spiking. So, well, I don't see that it's the very best time for her to be repotted now, today. So I'm going to leave her be until I see some more root growth, some new root growth and some new shoots from down there to the base. Yes? So, just stay there. The one with the kind of sort of difficult name, Cattleytonia Why Not. You can see that she's so she arrived in a net basket. You can read on the web that this particular orchid needs to be dried out, or drying out kind of severely between waterings. Yes, it's in growing state. And what I don't like about it is that she's sitting in coconut husk. Old medium down there. Yeah, you know what I think about it. So, well, that was easily removed. Didn't cause much damage, did it? But I usually, if I don't put my Cattleyas into semi-hydroponics, I usually, look, slow release fertilizer. I usually put my Cattleyas into clay pots with my mixture. What the heck? What on earth? With my mixture of charcoal, sphagnum moss, good pieces of bark, perlite, and yeah, that's it. And I do believe that in this dry conditions, she will dry out kind of severely anyway. It's a hybrid, bloom-wheeling hybrid, compact grower, blooms about 2 times a year, on obviously several canes. Maybe not simultaneously, I don't know. I don't know anything about this particular orchid's history, how old it is, or anything. It obviously had a couple of black, perhaps, discolored leaf tips. So, and you saw the great amount of slow-release fertilizer in the compost, didn't you? Perhaps a little bit too much of it. So I got some good ready-mix bark in here. As I said before, medium grey bark, and peat moss, mostly, shouldn't be more than peat moss in here, as an additive to the mixture. It looks like spag, but it's not. Doesn't say, at least. Since this one likes to be drying out in between waterings, I could choose between this clay pot, and the larger one, wider one. That's my idea. As you can hear, I'm coming up with the solution as I'm working here on the actual plant. So I hadn't really had any thoughts on it before I pressed the play button, this camera. But look, there's nothing there. did a teeny weeny bit, and it's a new cane, so perhaps it will put out a spike later on, even in here. And this one might be a blind sheath or not. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about this one's habits, so that remains to be seen, I can say. And here, another new growth, green root tips. It's not bad. A little new growth there as well. So she needs to be potted up quite high up, as she was in her net basket already. But yeah, likes to dry out. Yeah. If I had 80% air humidity, that would be a nice alternative to keep her in a net basket. But that's not an option in here. It's far too dry. And when I think it's appropriate, when I think I provided the very right amount of humidity, it's still too dry. So that's the case. Anyway, he's in kind of sort of growing stage. Roots coming out from many places. Of course I could divide this plant and make a little bit more narrow, 2 narrower parts, divisions from her, out of her, and maybe sell a few, but no, not yet. So, this part, no, it's not going to be this one. Wow, look at the backside of the tag. Word Flora Supply. What on earth? That's where they got it from, at the Orchids and More, perhaps. Anyway, a little bit stuffed, a couple of bad roots, a little bit worse roots, but overall, I don't want to go and mess about with it too much. Doesn't really make a difference. It's alright. I couldn't even remove all of the coconut husk fiber. It's clinging on here for its life. So, well, I will cause more harm than do good to remove it, I'd say. For her, a little bit of charcoal, huge pieces, to the bottom, for drainage. And ready mix bark. A little bit of biochar added. So I always use a little bit of biochar or charcoal for its disinfective properties. Yeah, you can even grow orchids in simply charcoal. Yes, I got a couple which are growing in only pure charcoal, so it works really well, as you can see. I could even have used a larger pot. I'm after the width of the pot, not the depth. So, as you can see now, she's got a bit more room. The widest part is up here, of course. So she needs to come up a little bit without any water retentive medium underneath her to keep her roots soggy for a length of time. I wouldn't do her a favor. So, down with the orchid. Yeah, it's not the best of root system. Old roots. But this one is new. This isn't. These are old canes, so better press them to the backside. I think that's it's not a risk I'm taking. Can you hear the storm winds? The wind's blowing outside. Real autumn weather. Kind of cozy inside. I'm washing my laundry downstairs, basement, at the same time as I'm doing this. So, I'm kind of only using the larger pieces here to give us some air. This pot will make sure that she's gonna have a good chance on breathing. Yes. And I can flush her every now and then. So she's going to be kept a bit drier than all the rest, so I will need to keep an eye on her progress. And Yeah, but she's in growing stage. You can see her newest growth there. She will, it will produce a couple of, a bunch of new roots before long. So she's already on her way on producing a couple. So I'm not really all that scared. Her not making it. I don't kill Cattleya orchids that often. Not as long as I'm using the clay pots. As for the Cattleyas I'm keeping in semi-hydroponics, yeah, I'm keeping the ones which are doing great in semi-hydroponics still. But the ones which didn't do great, I transitioned back into a moss and bark mixture. Yeah, my own mixture. And it saves me a lot of work and a lot of time to keep orchids in semi-hydroponics, but, well, not all of them likes it, so, yeah. But anyway, this one is kind of sort of ready. So, and she also needs a good amount of light, so bright light, so, but I will need to introduce it to her gradually, so she won't get burning marks or other stuff the first thing she gets. So, and I also sprayed her with my leaf shine spray, so spider mice wouldn't get to her. She's done. Now, let us look at something a little bit more difficult. Yep. Now, the Aphyllum. Dendrobium Aphyllum. Also goes under the name Purpurata. Yeah, tags to the backside. It's a species, Dendrobium, with pendant regimes. Pendant growth overall. A bit of winter rester. Blooms on, kind of sort of, I think. I'll soon discover. Leafless kings. What's that? Tendency of a little nubbin. Already? No, not, It's halfway dead here, so maybe it will continue dying off, so we shall see. But, might have bloomed from this one earlier. This small one, maybe, there's been something there. Some remaining pieces of old flowers. This one is going slowly, as I said, into dormancy, or resting period. Some yellowing leaves, tendencies to start yellowing its leaves. So, I'm not gonna be able to keep her on a mount. Anyway, in the web shop they had two different films which you can choose from. So I assume that one was mounted and one wasn't. They didn't say on the other one, only that one of them was mounted, would arrive mounted, and both had, were flowering sized orchids. So, so in my email with my order, I wrote down that I don't want a mounted one. I want one in a pot. And they told me they didn't have one in a pot, so I was a little bit confused. So, but I said, yeah, ship them all to me anyway. I want them all. Doesn't matter. I'll fix this. So now it's about time to fix it. I need to get her off the mount. Well, of course, I can put this mount into a little pot of some sort, plastic pot. And I'll just sit there. I'll fill it up with a little bit of something, but nah, I don't think that's great. So I surely want to get her off it, so it doesn't matter to me all that much. She's not in growing stage. She's got live roots, as you can see. They're turning green as I'm watering them, but they're not in growing stage, so. Yes, let us cut away the threads to start with and see what happens. Might be surprised how easy this procedure may be at times. On other times it won't be easy at all. It'll be kind of a hassle. Been going through it. It's been here for years, I believe. well, yeah, I saved the root tip. So you can see it's not really dormant yet. And this mount is so rotten. I mean, it's not a new and fresh one. That much I can see. So, and I simply don't need another one in my cupboard. So, I don't really care about this one. It's so damaged and rotten. It's a good material. Would have been worse if it was a wooden clog. Such. Doesn't take much of an effort at all, to be honest. So, this is hooray. Works better than expected. I'm actually able to save roots. Get all of the roots off it in one piece. Yes. Oh, stuff in there. What on earth? So yeah, you can find stuff. Unwanted stuff, so it's kind of alright that I made this kind of drastic decision for this orchid. Yeah. Alright. This is it. Mounts there. I lost one root, a little piece of root, and a couple of dead ones, but that's not bad. Let's just get rid of this nasty, kind of sort of strange smelling medium here. I'm gonna wash her. Well, of course, I could have kept her on the mount, but in that case, I would have needed to keep her in the cabinet, and this one is going to grow on nicely from now on. That's my intention. She is going to be a medium-sized plant. And, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I believe that this cabinet kind of sort of crowded already. We don't need another tall king one in there. So, I cannot keep them mounted. It's far too dry. And I would like to go on a vacation sometimes. So, I don't have anybody to keep an eye on them. So, not anyone I trust on my orchids. Really. Well, yeah. I'm not kidding around. That's the truth. So, keeping her in bark medium wouldn't be all that bad, would it? So, I will need to go outside to my balcony and grab a couple of new pots. Well, I grabbed a couple. I couldn't see anything. It was totally dark outside on the balcony now. So, this was a pot I was after, yeah? Kind of sort of flat cone bottom. And this one is kind of sort of better, yeah? Anyway, this one is kind of sort of alright as well. So, these are a bit frosted. So, this one is ugly. What to do? Yay. It's not frosted. It's only old, but I can use the same kind of pots for them. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Yep. I got that one. So, just do as I always do. Let us start with a little bit of charcoal to the bottom for drainage. Yes, a little bit. I know its root system will expand and will become a massive ball of roots in there. Yeah, this is a bad root system, considering the amount of roots a well-grown Dendrobium can grow. So, yeah. The soldering pen. I will need to make a couple of holes to the sides here in order to keep the orchid in place. Yes. So, let us heat it up. Yes. We need a little stick, which we need to divide into two pieces. Yep. Let's just prepare the second one. We still got another orchid, which we are going to repot today as well. We still got some remaining compost from previous repotting, the Why Not one. So down you go. During growing season, it should be watered kind of often, and shouldn't be drying out far too severely. So I do want to have, I changed my mind a little bit. I think I'll stick to my regular growing mix for this orchid. Loads of perlite. I just realized that I've run out of perlite. But it holds the moisture, but same time it keeps it kind of fluffy and well drained in a way. So yeah, but not to the bottom. It's a couple of pieces of this fertilizer. So, and the root system will expand tremendously. That much I can tell you. I've been growing dendrobiums before, and I still got a few. It's not that I'm a newbie on it, really. It's just that they don't bloom for me all that well, and they always get spider mites and stuff. So, but the ones in the cabinet doesn't have any spider mites. It's far too moist in there, so yeah, I would have needed a couple of more cultivation cabinets. And here I have no space left for it, but maybe someday. All right, we need a little stick, preventing it from falling out of a pot. So kind of pressing it down a bit. So maybe here, little hole, yes, down there. So kind of sort of deep down. It looks deeper than it actually is. A good way on helping it to be stabilized in this pot and not wobbling around. So the new roots has got a chance of forming a bit down there. Yeah, I think that's all right. That's enough. And of course, cut off the sharp edges. Minimize the pot a bit. So, and tag. Yes. So, a film, it's done. Yes. Well guys, I better split this video up into two separate parts. Yay, not divisions. Oh, I'm getting tired. So, the rest of the repottings from this order will be in my next video, in a separate video. Yay! That's what I meant. So, look how neatly they shall be arranged. A film, and next to it, when it's done, the Nestor, the red dragon. So, both of them, my intention is to hang both of them out over the edges of this white, lovely basket, plastic. And here's the Why Not? Yeah, why not? I think she looks fine in there. My clay pot, so. Well, see my next video, I hope. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It will help this channel grow a bit. So, my channel won't stall. As some of my orchids are. So, take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye. Welcome to part 2 in a couple of days.